I don't know, maybe it's silly, but sometimes I feel like everybody that I ever loved and who loved me is still with me. It's like I get little signs, like a little wink from the sun through a tree branch. Maybe a song comes on the radio that was their favorite song. And maybe just a scent, a smell, peppermint, something that they used to love. It's no good. It's taken me a whole lifetime of realizing nothing is any good if it isn't your choice. It's gotta be your choice. She stared into that broken mirror with a smile laced with tears, because for once she could truly see herself for how she felt. So happy to see you today. Hey everybody, thank you so much for coming back and seeing me and Desi. And I hope you had a good week. Is it hot where you are? It's very hot here. But I wanted to thank you so much for your wonderful comments last week about my little overdramatic hair dilemma. And you were so wonderful and kind. And I met a lot of new strangers last week, and they weren't so kind. But it's all good. You know, I don't expect you to agree with everything that I say or everything I feel. So I love it when you tell me the truth. That's all I ever want from you is the truth. Anyway, one of those comments last week sparked this video. She said, "This is what my family wanted for me. This is what I did. My daughter said I should sell my house, so I sold my house and I moved into a one-bedroom apartment, and I'm so sad. This wasn't my choice. How do I make something from nothing?" Because that's just how I feel. I look in the mirror, I'm 74 years old. I don't recognize myself. How do I start again? How do I make something from nothing? This lovely lady asked me, I don't understand. I don't understand how you picked yourself up and reinvented yourself and somehow you went on with your life. How did you do that? So we begin to rebuild our life. And the first thing I did was let myself off the hook. No looking in the mirror and yelling at myself. I stopped communicating for a while socially. I needed to heal. I needed time. And I didn't put any goals or restrictions on myself. I just let myself be. I let myself heal. I gave myself time. It is what it is. And I'm going to get through today. I don't know about tomorrow, but today I can get through today, me and my dog, and I'm fine. And I'm going to be nice to myself. If I have an inner dialogue, it's going to be pleasant. And that was the only rule I had for myself, is be nice to myself. Stop saying such mean things. I started to nurture hope. And I know that sounds corny, but it was everything. When I would go to the grocery store, I would look at the garden department, and I started buying these little seeds, sunflower seeds or gladiolas. I didn't have a house. I didn't have a garden. I didn't have anything. I barely had the $1.49 for the seeds, but I bought them. And I would dream, and I would hope. someday I'm going to get out of here. Someday I am going to have a new life and I'm going to be a new me. I started to have hope. Well, I had a choice. Maybe my life that I was living wasn't my choice, but I did have a choice. I had a choice of which road I was going to take. The road of going downhill and despair and my life is over and blah, blah, blah. Or this other road of it's not too late. It's not too late. It's not too late for me to change. And what do I want? What do I really want? And that made all the difference. I would look at those packs of seeds and think, yeah, someday that's going to be my garden. Not anything truly fancy, but something that was mine, something I could nurture, something I could truly love. To visualize where I wanted my life to go. And it's funny when I talk to people, sometimes if I ask them, where do you see yourself in 5 years, they just go blank or they get mad. So I don't ask that anymore. But anyway, if you're running a race to win and you don't know where the finish line is, how are you going to win the race? That's how I began to look at my life. I'm running this race and I want to win. I want to hold up that trophy of the life that I have hope that I might have. So what I did is I started visualizing things. I started watching YouTube videos of beautiful homes or beautiful apartments or, women fixing themselves up and looking their very best over 60. And slowly but surely I started to build a real picture of a life that maybe I could have, but I'd have to reinvent myself. I would just dream that someday I might have a house or a fancy apartment, and I would watch decorating videos, and I'd get decorating magazines. I couldn't afford them. They were almost $5 back then, but I got them. And then, of course, reality would set in. There'd be a knock on the door, and I lived in a rent-controlled building, and there would always be an inspector that would go around and say, that picture, you're hanging that picture over the fuse box. You can't do that. You'll get thrown out of here. Take that down. Didn't I tell you to do that before? You moved a table. You moved a table in front of your window in your bedroom. You can't do that. That's against the fire code. Get that out of there. You want to live here? You want to live here rent-free? I wasn't living rent-free, but they always said that. You want to live here rent-free? You play by the rules, honey. He didn't take my dignity because I wouldn't let him. Because as soon as he left, I'd put the picture back, I'd move the table back, I'd get out my decorating magazines, and I would say, someday, these walls around me are going to be mine, and I'll be able to hang any picture I want, anywhere I want.
You're not a gardener, you're a singer. You're a singer. You're amazing. People come from all over the world just to hear you sing. Do you know that? Yeah, I do. I think you know that. You want a raise? Okay.
I had to let myself fail. There was always 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Always. Always. And that step back could have absolutely defeated me and taken my morale and run off with it. But that 1 step back, I ignored it, or I learned from it, or I just would tell myself, okay, let's not focus on that. Let's just focus on these 2 steps forward. Because I failed, and I failed a lot. And yet, I learned from those failures. Nothing is any good if it isn't your choice. I had so many dreams. 11 years ago, I never ever could have imagined that the things that I would visualize of a life that I wanted would actually come true. Really? Honestly? I would actually have an income I could live on. I could actually have a home, a house by my family. I could actually have my own garden. I could plant my own sunflowers. I could have Desi and see him be king of his backyard after the first 4 years of his life living in a closet. All these things were coming true. And yet, what happened? What happened this last year? And what I realized is that, yes, everything I visualized pretty much came true. But what about me? What about me as a woman? I wished for things. I wished for circumstances. I got lost. I somehow got lost. And when I turned 70, it was as if I thought, well, where's the finish line now? I feel like I started to run another race, but where's the finish line? I don't know. What do I wish for now? I have everything I wanted. And I feel happy, but yes, something is missing. This last year of my life has been very difficult. I've been struggling. And the other night, I ran out. I had to get a few things at the grocery store. And it was a beautiful summer night. And I was coming out to the parking lot, and I saw this old 1975 convertible. And I was mesmerized by it. So I got my camera out, because you guys are always with me, and I started filming the car. And I realized the keys are in it. Oh my gosh, the keys are in it. I could just hop in and, Thelma and Louise was like playing through my mind, and I'd stop at home, pick up Desi, and we'd be driving all over northern Michigan, the wind through our hair and the coppers behind us chasing us. We got a stolen car, but boy, we're having fun. And then I actually had a thought like, well, at my age, I wonder if they think I was just crazy. I was fantasizing about what that convertible would feel like. And when I saw the dash, I went back to that time in 1975 when I felt so young and vibrant, and I just, so much passion for everything. And I had to reinvent myself as a young girl turning into a woman to protect myself from life. But it was glorious, and it was fun, and it was scary, and it was everything. And then I stopped looking at the car, and I looked at my groceries, and I just slowly went over to my little caddy, opened up the trunk, placed my groceries in the trunk. And as I drove away from that convertible, I just said to myself, what if I had gotten in that car? And I sort of clicked on it. That's what's been missing. That's what's been missing in my life this last year. The what if, the passion, the crazy, insane, okay, let's take a chance on this. I was so concerned about other things and other people. I just wasn't thinking about me, the woman I am. How about how I feel? When I turned 71, I thought, well, I've got to start coming to terms with, there is not going to be any more dating. There's not going to be any more, well, I probably shouldn't wear frilly blouses anymore, right? Because then it looks like I'm trying too hard. Like, what? What's going on here? When you start living a life that isn't your choice, then you're out in the kitchen eating Oreos thinking, well, what does it matter? Nobody's going to see me in a nightgown. Except yourself. How you feel about yourself doesn't matter anymore. How you feel when you're talking to a handsome man, that doesn't matter anymore. Nothing matters. Your hair doesn't matter. Nothing matters because I'm old. I was happy being grandma. And there's nothing wrong with being grandma. There's nothing. The biggest blessing in my life right now is the relationship I have with my grandchildren. It's the most precious thing that I own. But the label grandma, 99% of my life, no, I'm not grandma. I'm Susan. And I forgot that. I completely forgot that. I have to live a life that is my choice. And maybe everything, of course, isn't my choice. But women make the best of things, don't they? They take something from nothing and make it wonderful and glorious and memorable and important. And somehow I let my age define me, and I can't do that anymore. So I have to start from square one again. I have to let myself fail. I have to visualize the life that I want for me. And then I have to put some things in motion so perhaps those things can happen. But somewhere along the line, I forgot about me because I turned 70. And when you let go of your future, you also let go of your past. You let go of the woman that you were. And that's all right to a point. As long as you make sure you kind of know, you know what I'm doing? I'm reinventing myself. Just like years ago when I reinvented my life, I'm reinventing me. I don't have to buy a pack of seeds. Nope. I don't have to put some highlights in my hair, do I? Actually, I did, but I have to reinvent the way that I'm thinking about the woman that I am. I have to be the woman that jumps into that convertible, not stealing it, just jumping in it, and going for a glorious ride in northern Michigan. Waterfalls, beautiful beaches. I haven't done that in years. What if I did something like that? What if you did something that you've wanted to do, but you were telling yourself, oh no, I can't. I'm 75. I'm 80. I can't do that. What if we take nothing and we make it beautiful and we make it important? We take something from nothing and make it extraordinary. She could truly see herself for how she felt. He sang so good today, he just cracked me up. Hey everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I hope you liked the video, and let me know if anything I said really struck a chord with you, okay? Please have yourself a happy, safe, brand new week. And when you're done with your week, please, if you got time, come back and see me and Desi, okay? All right, it's a deal. We'll be here. Yeah. You're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. Don't you? Don't you?